Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Welcome to Danny and Stan's Football Weekend for this week, and I'm sure that out there Chiefs fans just can't get enough about talking about that miraculous Sunday, a game that was turned on its head so completely it just makes your own head spin. A game that looked like the Chiefs might have the most miserable of routes turned into a rout the other way. A game that wasn't even close at all in the fourth quarter. It looked like the misery index was so high by 3 o'clock that it looked like it might be one of the blackest days in Chiefs history. And now it's on to the AFC Championship game. Time to talk about that with Stan and the rest of a very entertaining NFL football weekend. And, well, if you hear this thing right away in the next hour and a half from when it's first posted at 6 o'clock, then you're going to get a preview of the national championship game. That'll get you all hyped up for it. And if you listen to it afterwards, you get to give us a grade for how we did because the game will be played. So quite a lot going on, quite a lot of interesting stuff to turn to, divulge, try and explain. I don't know if Sunday can be explained. That's what the title of this podcast is all about, as a matter of fact. But the overarching title is Danny and Stan's Football Weekend, and it gets underway coming up next.
Hey guys, it's Brian Haney, voice of the Jayhawks, and Matt Llewellyn from the 23rd Street Brewery. Matt, I've got a bunch of buddies coming over to watch the big game, and I need some ideas on what to cook.
Hey, let me handle it, Brian.
You're going to come over and cook for us?
For you? Maybe. But you should just let 23rd Street Brewery cater it. We could bring a big pan of Bill Self mac and cheese, wings, veggies, naked nachos, and anything else you might want.
Great. Well, you want to stick around and watch the game?
No, I've got to get back to the brewery and watch it on the big screen.
The place to get great catering and watch all the games, the 23rd Street Brewery in Lawrence.
Cinematic Visions has been an affordable solution for professional media production in Kansas City since 2003, offering award-winning video production and creation, as well as a wide array of digital and social media management services. From planning, scripting, filming, editing, and post-production, to delivering your product to a watching world, Cinematic Visions will provide professional and affordable services for you and your business with the necessary return on investment to make it all worthwhile. Cinematic Vision's goal is to unlock the power of storytelling through video and a strong online presence for your company. Beyond the numbers, they want to inspire and evoke your clients to feel and act. Let my friends at Cinematic Visions embed your brand where it belongs, in your customers' minds. You can find them online at cinematicvisions.com or with a quick phone call at 816-600-6300.
If you'd like to join these and other great sponsors and market your business to a growing and engaged audience, contact us at danny@dannyclinkscale.com. Look forward to hearing from you.
Stan, a remarkable Sunday in Kansas City, and I think remarkable because certainly it was a crazy football game. But what we saw was the Chiefs and their fans have sat in that stadium on so many occasions in a similar scenario. Chiefs in a good spot. Chiefs the favorite. Chiefs are supposed to win. Now, it hasn't happened a slew of times because the Chiefs haven't really made the playoffs, on a year after year after year basis. And then to just get gut punched like the fan base was and have a turnaround, thankfully for them, very quickly. I mean, it was maybe the craziest first half of football I've ever seen.
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, just never has a team gotten behind by 20 points and then come back and led the half. That's crazy. The Chiefs didn't sniff a point in the whole first quarter and ended up with 28 to half, the lead. The way the Texans blew out and had 14 points before there were 5 minutes gone in the game. They had their 24th point really quickly into the second quarter. And watching the game out at Arrowhead, I was with my son, and those are things that are pointing out. I go, hey, the Texans have had everything going right in the first quarter, and they lead 14-0. But you know what? They burned no clock. And then when they got to 24th point, and oh, by the way, I'm a guy that says take the field goal. Missed field goals can lead to momentum. Everyone acts as if they're going to make every fourth down play. Did they watch the Ravens game? I think the Ravens lost because they went for fourth down.
Too. Soren Petro joined me on Twitter, and my whole point there at that point in the game was not that they were going. It wasn't about the points for me. It was about a potential momentum swing when the Chiefs had none. If they stopped them on that fourth down, and also the other part, and nobody really responded to this, was the fact that I thought the 24 and it didn't have a chance to happen because everything, there was a firestorm quickly. But I thought the 24, and to Andy Reid's credit, he didn't take the bait the first time, but I thought the 24 might put 8 times 3 into the Chiefs' mind too early. So there were multiple reasons I thought the kick was the right thing.
Yeah, and plus 24-21, when the Chiefs overwhelmed the Texans and led, but still were behind by 3, that's the kind of working margin you want to need. Like, guys, just settle down. We're still up by 3. Everyone acts like every fourth down is going to be made. That's the only problem with anybody's logic. Oh, it's 4th and inches. Get some guts. This is easy. That's what they're crying out
and
to.
And again, as we pointed out so many times, it wasn't 4th and inches at the goal line. They still were going to have to
get a first down at
10 more yards.
Or the 10, then they got to get into the end zone.
Right.
So I have no problem with taking a field goal. No doubt. It's good to be up 24-0. You've scored on every one of your possessions. I mean, what is wrong with the Texans on the road saying, yeah, that was not our best drive, but we still got a field goal? And if you're going to beat the Chiefs, going into the game, I said if you're going to beat the Chiefs, the one area you might be able to catch them on is that the red zone offense is not always as productive as it had been last year.
Right.
So if the Chiefs kick a couple of field goals instead of getting touchdown drives, what a difference it'll make. Well, I'll propose to you, Danny, that's one of the reasons why the Chiefs made the unbelievable comeback is when they got those chances down there, they scored a touchdown every single time, and they weren't easy. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce were playing football in a way that you and I might play in a backyard if we're having a great Thanksgiving day, where you're scrambling to the side and you flip the ball to your buddy and hope he catches it. These are not plays that you script. The catches were all hard for Travis Kelce in traffic. You don't know when Patrick's going to throw it to you. You don't know what arm angle he's going to use. Is he going to flip it? Is he going to pass it? And the fact that that Patrick Mahomes is able to get the ball in there every time for those touchdowns, incredibly great play. The Chiefs did an awesome job on offense, but still, they scored touchdowns in the red zone. The Texans did nothing wrong to that point. To that point in the second quarter, the Chiefs had done nothing right other than Patrick Mahomes. It is incredible, Danny, that we sit here today and look at a Chiefs team that's behind 24-0, and if we just stop time right there and just go, what do you think of the Chiefs' performance? A disaster. Tyreek Hill's put back in a situation to return a punt when he hasn't been doing it, and he fumbles. Well, are you going to blame the coaches? Well, there's plenty of blame to go around. I'm not, but you can. But Tyreek Hill caught the ball at the 5. What's he doing catching the ball at the 5?
What's he doing not fair catching? The guy was right in his lap.
Yeah, then he fumbles. I mean, that is awful. Travis Kelce has a drop on the first third down conversion. Robinson has drops. The Chiefs' defense lets a guy fly down and be the most open that I've seen all season long. When they fake the third down pass down the line, they slip through. Everyone had their chance to be a part of this. Damian Williams can't catch the ball on the backfield. The running game stinks. How about Fisher's 5-yard penalty? They were in a situation where it was 3rd and 6 when it would have been 3rd and 1. All those things built up. The first quarter, everyone played bad except for Patrick Mahomes did nothing wrong the whole first quarter.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, because of the way that the comeback came and they ended up scoring 51 and it wasn't even close in the fourth quarter, fourth quarter was irrelevant, is enough being made of the fact that the Chiefs just came out and stunk as bad as a good football team? They made the Ravens look like a steamroller in their game. I mean, the Chiefs were god-awful, and are we just supposed to completely forget that?
Well, yes, I think we have to, because the chances of that happening are so astronomically low that you just can't recreate that kind of stuff. So
I don't even mean on a recreation basis, but they did do that. I mean, I'm
it's
not
on
saying
them. Yeah, it was not on the Texans. It was on them.
Yeah, but my
you're
point
right.
is they had the biggest game they've played this year, and they just no-showed the start of the game.
That is a relevant statement, but sometimes like an NCAA tournament where you have to win 6 games, there's one game in there where you go, well, we hit a last-second shot, or we had to make a comeback in the last minute, and it has no effect on the rest of the season. So, yeah, you can ask all the questions you want about that, Danny, and say, man, you deserve to lose when you do that kind of thing.
Oh, I don't even mean that. I don't know I can't explain how bad they were. I mean, they clearly were tight for whatever reason.
The nervousness built upon itself. And I thought the biggest play of the game, that doesn't matter now at all, was 3rd down and long on the third play of the game. And I was with my son watching a game in the stadium, and I go, if the Texans don't make a first down here and they punt it back to the Chiefs with this place rocking, and the differential in these two teams, in my opinion, the Chiefs are going to get the football, go down and score, and Katie bar the door.
I agree with that.
Okay, because I go in the game, Danny, with a 9.5-point spread, saying that is so high for the playoffs, and teams have chances to win. I gave the Texans a 10 to 25% chance to win the game, but I said the Chiefs were going to cover. The Chiefs are so much better than the Texans. It's unbelievable. And so it just started playing out. And when it's all said and done, we get to the end of the game, the intestinal fortitude it took for the Chiefs to get and play the odds out and to dominate a game and win by 20 is incredible. In NFL record books type stuff that we'll remember for playoffs forever, and the emotions the fans had to go through to hit the lows before you hit the highs and all that. But, Bill O'Brien's not a very good coach. I thought Deshaun Watson just was kind of he threw the ball over the middle so well, it's unbelievable. The little dart passes, that third down pass I talked about, the goal line touchdown, he did a really nice job. But outside the hash, only one after a penalty, he had a 3rd and 9 in the field goal drive, their 24th point drive. That to Hopkins, that was a nice little pass. Other than that, his outside passing was not very good, and his lack of running was a big factor. He ran a touchdown in on just a little 5th grade quarterback sweep, right? But going to the game, Danny, and you've heard me talking about this for a long time, the Chiefs can possibly lose a game without some of this craziness we saw. They could possibly lose the game, but you know what the formula is? You better take long, time-consuming drives and score touchdowns, and force the Chiefs to kick some field goals, and then still hold your breath and hope you can win the game at the end. You're probably going to have to finish. Guess what? Running the football. So when we looked up and the Texans had done their work, even if it's 14 points, if you wanted to talk at the 24-point mark, they'd use no time. And I said going in the whole time, Deshaun Watson has to play like he's Lamar Jackson. Expose him, put him in the running game, get him out there, scramble. I thought his scrambling was very bad. Now I need to go back and watch the tape probably because I was there at Arrowhead. And sometimes when you're sitting at certain angles, things look different than they are. But I thought when the Chiefs 4-man rush, he could have acted like Patrick Mahomes multiple times, cut through 2 of the rushers, and then get himself in the linebacker area. And even if he gained 4 yards, I think Deshaun Watson's usually better than that. He could have easily got some 7s, some 10s, some 15s.
Yeah, he was doing this dipsy-do stuff.
He was running backwards and continuing to look for passing opportunities.
Right, I
that
agree.
isn't going to work beating the Chiefs, in my opinion.
Right.
It isn't going to work. I think you're going to have to use clock, get your quarterback in the run game, demoralize the Chiefs by running the football. And they did everything. I mean, everything the Chiefs did wrong gave the Texans a chance to be ahead 24-0. It was about the Chiefs. And then when the Chiefs turned it on, it was about the Chiefs. And then they scored touchdowns, played excellently, and wiped the Texans up. The Texans are not a very good team. Again, the coaching, the use of timeouts, the indecision, when something goes wrong, the demoralization on their sideline. I mean, they had the lead. Danny, yeah, they got fake punt. The fake punt, dumb or not,
it was dumb to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Although it took Daniel Sorensen made a fine play.
They really had it blocked up well. They really, if you watch the replay, you could give them the benefit of the doubt that they smashed everything down, and it was Daniel Sorensen who was lined up over the center, 5 yards, that had to go meet the guy perfectly. There's a chance you don't even see the ball snap to the wrong guy. There's a chance that Daniel Sorensen just takes a split-second look and go, oh, it's a fake, and not get there in time. But again, if they make the first down, Danny, does that mean they're not going to punt in 3 downs?
Right. Just
because you make 4th down doesn't mean you get a touchdown. Everyone acts like the new rule is make a 4th down and they'll give you 7 points.
Right.
Would they really have taken back the momentum of the game? I don't know. But they had so many chances. 24-7, 24-14.
Yeah, they
24-21.
Yeah, they had
24-20, 28-24 Chiefs. They weren't out of the game. If you went to halftime and if you had a good coaching staff, you'd walk in and go, who's the favorite in this game? The Chiefs. How much are they ahead by? 4? How many Houston fans wouldn't take a 4-point deficit and go see what happens in the second half? Sometimes, Dan, you got to just hit the reset button and be a pro.
Right, but let me ask you, how hard is that when you're at 24-0 and you're like, we're shocking the world here, and then in a blink of an eye, you're losing? I mean, yes, that would be some damn good coaching to me at halftime. I thought most teams would be toast in that situation.
Okay, most teams, but most teams have very average NFL quarterbacks who are on their way to getting fired here pretty soon, and they're cycling through. Look at the Patriots last year, Danny. How hard is it? How many did Patrick put up in second half against the Patriots?
31?
31. Something like that?
31, yeah.
Wasn't it 31 going to?
Yeah.
The Patriots gave up 31 points, Danny. You know what they did? They just said, let's go. We got to drive.
Right.
You look up at the scoreboard, Danny, and you say, how many points are we behind? When the Chiefs scored their first touchdown, it was 24-7 early second quarter. And again, I think that was critical. If a normal NFL flow of a game had occurred, and the Texans didn't do anything wrong scoring touchdowns, but for a better luck purposes, you'd have almost the whole half gone.
Right.
And then you'd be counting the drives going, oh, crap, the Chiefs are only going to get the ball so many times. They're going to have to go no huddle.
Right.
With 10 minutes left, I just turned and said, okay, the score is 24-7. You can't just say the Chiefs are going to win, snap of the fingers. It's still football. And I think that the Texans could get some things done here if Deshaun Watson plays well. But all the Chiefs have to do is beat them by 7 each quarter. And that seems so attainable from a Chiefs perspective. Right. So I immediately was saying, hey, at 24-0, the first time I thought about, wow, what do I think of the Titans at the Texans? I haven't thought about this before. The commercial breaks are pretty long out there, and the music's good, but I'm sitting there in my own little world going, for a split second until the kickoff return. And hey, I'm around a lot of K-State football, and I go, oh my gosh, this is K-State. No momentum, nothing going well. You're receiving a kickoff. That's not good. And all of a sudden, McCole Hardman busts it out and opens the mind to positiveness again. So that's the first time they got momentum.
The other part is that I think in a normal NFL game that you're not going to have the crowd reacting the way they were. I mean, they would have been like, okay, well, it's 24-7. All it took was the kickoff return, and the crowd was going bananas. Like, oh, we're in it all of a sudden. They're down 24. But the fans are thinking differently. They're thinking, we have to root our team on now. We have to pull them up by the bootstraps. I think that playoff atmosphere really helps, because I think if it's, in the middle of November, people are going, well, fine. A good kickoff return. We scored a touchdown. We're still down 17. I mean, what's going on here? But not in a playoff game where they are dying for their team to come back.
No, the fans were like dry grass where you throw a match on it, because that return fired them up. Next play, Travis Kelce catches the ball against the backup on the kickoff return. On the kickoff return, the guy that was guarding Kelce gets hurt.
Right.
Goes out, and they go right after his guy. And the Chiefs catch a little pass. Kelce runs, jumps up, and starts going crazy, pointing ahead like we got all the momentum. And you're sitting there going, the Chiefs got all the momentum. They just the kickoff return and this pass, and this is that easy. And then Williams is dancing in the end zone 2 seconds later on the second play. And here we go. It's
but the
unbelievable.
Texans at no point did anything until they were behind to stem the tide. You've got to string some first downs together. You got to go down and score another time.
Yeah. Or get the Chiefs. If they make the Chiefs kick a field goal on any of the possessions in the third quarter, they mathematically could still be within 13 and go one touchdown drive. And they did put one drive together. They finally calmed down and started playing football again.
They were down 17 when they did that, yeah.
Yeah, too late. But if they would have been forced a field goal, or, they had the Chiefs at third and goal to 10, and they called a holding against Damian Williams, a pass where Mahomes had a flush from the pocket, was not in good shape. Even the Chiefs, it's going to be incomplete, and they got a get-out-of-jail-free card. The Texans held, get the ball to 5, and then they score. But if that would have been a field goal, 13-point game, at any point in the game, Danny, the Texans could have said,
yes,
we're going to start playing right now. But they aren't good enough. J.J. Watt's non-factor, not surprised at all. The fact that they let Patrick Mahomes run all over him, at some point you can say Patrick Mahomes might beat us in a pass game, but if you're going to go after a sack and then you give up a run, that's kind of a trade-off. They didn't sack him.
No,
and they gave him
easy
runs.
Now, real pressure on him.
That's taking too much credit away from Patrick Mahomes. I just told you Deshaun Watson couldn't break out of a 4-man rush and start running upfield, but Patrick Mahomes did. So just an awesome job. But at the end of the day, I still sit back and say all the credit we want to give to Patrick Mahomes, he didn't have one bad play all game. The most you could criticize him for are his pass. A couple passes were slightly behind someone. I thought, remember they got the ball going from left to right on your TV, Danny, and they threw the ball deep in between two receivers, and it looked like it was underthrown. I think it was overthrown to Watkins. I think he thought Watkins was going to get on his horse a little bit and catch the ball. He didn't underthrow that ball that bad. A couple of more, 2 or 3 or 6 inches back from where they should be. And then he would say, this is crazy how good he is, he put the ball right on Tyreek Hill in the first quarter. And the defensive back, safety came over and ripped him, knocked him down. Remember, he got hurt for a second. Right. He put what a great throw. But he said, I should have thrown it to Kelsey because he's wide open at the first down marker. Okay. But again, Danny, he did not have a bad play all day long, ran like crazy, passed like crazy, had no momentum, put the team on his back, got the crowd excited. And then you have to say something about Daniel Sorensen.
Yes.
And he makes the hit on the kickoff that knocks the ball up and just game over. When that ball started floating in the air on a kickoff and Thompson caught it, it was like, game is over. The Chiefs got what they need, and they're the better team. But that tackle on the fourth down fake punt, unbelievable. And he did a nice job all day long. Juan Thornhill's not back there, and it makes a little bit of a difference. But at the end of the day, I think the thing that you have to –
Sorensen made the tackle on the play that came up just short on third down. Where they didn't go for it, where they kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
He made the tackle.
Yeah, right down by the goal.
By the way, I
I
thought they'd made it first down when I watched the TV.
Did you?
I did.
I couldn't tell. I haven't seen the
a lot of times in the
video.
NFL, it seems to me that they want flow in the game, and you'll see the referee. It looks like it might be a little short, and they'll just instantly signal first down and get it going. And I thought that was what was going to happen.
It's arena. I did so many arena football league games. That's the kind of style we're using now. Like close enough. The guy doesn't want any part of a measurement. The guy who spots the ball over the sideline gives the little, I'm pointing, it's a first down.
Right.
And the referee hasn't even looked up and officially, it's a weird way that they're doing things. But we have replay to step in and take a look. The Chiefs played really well. I do think that one of the big questions is, maybe Chris Jones is a big question. Is he going to be available? What difference will he make? But the Titans are really going to be able to do something that Carlos Hyde did a little bit, and that's run against the Chiefs. Can they run? And especially when they get the lead. If the Titans do get the lead, you get a little bit different monster than you do the Texans because they didn't unleash Watson. They did okay, but I think the Titans are wired to run when you know they're going to run, and they got a back who can finish. I think Tannehill's playing at a big-time level. This is not projectable. If he gets a contract now, it'll be overpaid.
Almost
it'll be
like
overpaid.
Blake Bortles, when he was great in the playoffs, when he put up 45.
That's a good example.
I think Tannehill's better than Blake Bortles.
He's a better football player.
But he's
yes.
playing in that way right now.
Exactly.
And to your point earlier, he can run. I mean, he can run. He's not inclined to run, but if he sees a big gap, he's going to take off.
And he knows down and distance. He's a winner.
Right.
Danny, he was a 1,000-yard receiver at Texas A&M. The guy's an athlete. I mean, and he's a winner. He's excited. This isn't too big for him. He understands the offense. And I think Vrabel has elevated himself. He looked down the gun barrel, as they say when you get it's a Ron Jaworski-ism. I like Ron Jaworski when the quarterback looks down the gun barrel, and that means a rusher right in his face and still keeps his form and throws the ball and takes the hit. Nowadays, you don't have to do that because the guy can't hit you anymore. But when he looked across at Bill Belichick, and it was an all-day battle, and you could say that, maybe the Tennessee can upset them. No, there's nothing about upsetting. That was a war. That was a war. Two teams knew what was going on, and the Patriots got some traction at the end of the game and looked like they were going to win, and the Titans just said, we are better than you. We're more mentally prepared than you. We know what defense to apply to you like you've been doing to other teams, and then to go do it against the Ravens.
And dominate.
And be in the right position all the time. I'm telling you, Mike Vrabel compared to Bill O'Brien is A to D.
And tell me about the momentum that the Titans have. They're a physical, tough, old-style football team that is, okay, you can say it's going to be difficult to do this 3 times in a row. But to them, what they're saying, we just did this 2 times in a row. Now, the Chiefs are better than either of those teams. There's no question about that, especially now. The Ravens, a lot of people said, well, they're hot and everything, but I think we can see now the Chiefs
I said going into that game, Ingram being injured was a big, big factor. And it was not just Lamar. Lamar did an awesome job during the year, but it was Lamar and Ingram
right.
that put a bind. When they're making an X and they're going different directions, I think that's what got their running game going. The Ravens were beaten. The Titans deserved to win, and the Ravens made some mistakes. But I thought the Titans were way better than the Texans going into the game. Here's the thing, are they getting a little beat up? But the advantage that you have from a Titans perspective is an 8-day window. Okay, they played on Saturday, and that extra day will mean a lot because they had to travel back from Baltimore, and they're going to have to travel. But one day in an NFL player's body is big, Danny. We talk about a week, but forget a week. I'm just telling you need an extra day here or there to get Henry going. So I still think, I said last week, the Chiefs are the best team. The Chiefs are the best team. They should win the Super Bowl. If you could just play it 100 times and all the odds played out, the Chiefs are the best team left. They are. But how can they possibly lose? Well, it's going to be someone who can say, I know, Chiefs, you have a lot of confidence in your run defense now, but I still think that it's more confidence than real. We're going to still block you, hit you, and make you make those tackles, and let's see. If you can't run the ball against the Chiefs, then you're not going to win.
They're done, yeah.
Because why? Because number 15 sitting over there on the sideline. I mean,
right, they have to have the ball for 35, 37 minutes. Let's go to the other side of the ball before our first time out. The Texans didn't play much good defense all season long. The Titans have been stout down the stretch and in the playoffs. What do they have to offer to slow down what looked like an impossible-to-stop Chiefs team Sunday?
Well, it's not going to be easy. The Chiefs scored 51, 41 straight. It goes back to this. They're going to have to somehow play well from the 30-yard line on in and force some field goals. And if you turn 2 Chiefs touchdowns or 3 into field goals, you can survive that. And that's what they're going to have to do. If the Chiefs are dancing in the end zone, then you're not going to beat them. You got to force some field goals. They're going to take Tyreek Hill out of the game. That's a big thing. But they're going to have to stuff the run. And the Texans really didn't let the Chiefs run except for Patrick Mahomes got away. Right. So the total rushing yards for the Chiefs don't look bad. Oh, they count. Mahomes' yards count as well. So I think what they'll be able to do, because Vrabel's a better coach than the Texans are coached, it'll go back to the Belichick way. What did the Patriots do well last year? They rushed Patrick Mahomes, hoping to pressure him, but never let him out of the pocket and never letting him run. Okay? You don't try to get to the quarterback with the best force. You keep your position. If you want the outside half of the guard, you control the outside half of the guard. And like a band in formation, the words don't get spelled right. If everybody's not together, that means all 4 rushers better be in the right spot. But I think they can implement that. So you keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket. You don't let Tyreek Hill beat you. And then you just say, the formula is, Patrick, from the pocket, throw the ball to Williams, throw the ball to Kelsey once in a while, throw the ball to anybody else, and we think before you get in the end zone, we'll be able to force you to kick a field goal. Because the Chiefs' running game really is stagnant right now. And the runs that they had late in the game were important to finish a game.
Texans had quit by then.
Yeah, I don't count those yards. I don't think Damian Williams' runs really count for me projecting forward. So if you stuff the Chiefs for 3 or less on each run, don't let Patrick Mahomes ever scramble, and then we'll live with anybody but Tyreek Hill beating us. I think we'll make you kick a couple of field goals, and we got to limit your drives. We have to limit your drives. We cannot let you get on the field that many times. And then that pressure, that noose of pressure that I think the Chiefs started to feel after the Texans scored and the Chiefs punted, already the crowd was a little restless when the Texans got the football the second time. It can still be there. I mean, right now we're booming with confidence. I mean, you talk about the Kansas City Chiefs fans, and it's the Royals, man. I think we already won the World Series. You remember the Houston game and the Royals? I'm sorry, Danny. You do remember the Houston game. Of course I do. Remember there was little chance of them winning?
Apparently they weren't cheating enough at that point.
Yeah, what inning was that? Was that the seventh inning?
Yes, I was there. I was there in person.
Okay, so we've gone through that where you just really go, the odds are not too good. I like our team. I think we're a team of destiny, but I think the Astros are going to beat the Royals. Well, we got, hey, look what happened. We won this game. The Chiefs definitely did that. But right now, around this city, everybody's talking about it. It's awesome. The confidence level's off the charts. And Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, how can you possibly lose? There's no problem until 5 minutes left in the third quarter. and the Titans are behind by 2 and smacking the ball right down the field. And now they're at the 50, and then a minute later they're at the 35, and into the third quarter. Now we cross over the fourth quarter. There's going to be a lot of nervousness around there.
Right.
And you've got to beat them, to beat the Chiefs, you've got to create that. Here's why there should be nervousness, Danny. If we started the season and said it's a grind to get through the regular season, you cannot jump ahead and just act like Dee Ford gets to be moved back onside and play this all over. That's not the way life works. You got to get to work. Say, okay, how about like the Royals in 14 come back in 15 and work so hard we get there so we earn it. Okay, good. The Chiefs have actually done that with the help of the Miami Dolphins winning a game. That's when things really have turned their way. But now we get down to this point. And then let's revert back to August and say, we can predict everything. And I tell you this, Danny, hey, Chiefs fans, in 2020, your Chiefs are going to get there and play 2 home playoff games in the playoffs. Wow, this is good. We're back. We fought. We made it through. Andy Reid had the boys grinding. Patrick Mahomes is healthy. Good. What? Now, tell me what else. The 2 teams you have to beat to go to the Super Bowl are the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans. And you're like, we're in the Super Bowl, man. This is easy. Danny, there are no New England Patriots. There are no Pittsburgh Steelers. Those are always impediments to getting to the Super Bowl in my mind. It's like the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees in baseball. They're not great every year, but there's something about it when they get there. The Chiefs only have to beat the Texans and the Titans. That's the kind of pressure the Titans need to put on the Chiefs. There's no way the Chiefs should lose this week. There is no way. With that situation, it should be free pass to the Super Bowl, Danny. And if it's not, it's a disaster. I think I heard you talking about this sometime and saying...
I said with Seren's Petro show last week that it would be a disaster, and this was before the Chiefs were going to have a home playoff game. I said it'll be a disaster if they lose the first home playoff game at home, and it'll be a disaster if they get the AFC Championship game at home and they lose that. If they had gone to Baltimore took care of business, they go to Baltimore, they lose. No disaster, no shame.
No, not at all.
No shame. Now the pressure's on again. We saw how the Chiefs reacted early to the pressure the first time. They can't let that happen again. They get wiped out in the first quarter again or even close to it. I mean, that's not going to happen again. It's not going to be 24-0. But
right.
even if it was 13-0 at the end of the first quarter against the Titans, then I think you are more likely than not to lose because of the way the Titans play. So I'm not saying they have to be electric, but they can't come out and wet their pants again like they did yesterday.
No, they can't. And in fact, they're going to have to create some separation. I think if the Titans at the end of the third quarter are lingering around, it's just a lot of tension. Doesn't mean the Chiefs aren't going to finish it off. Doesn't mean they're going to win. But you have to win, Danny. You cannot lose a chance to go to the Super Bowl for the second year in a row at home with Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, Andy Reid as your coach, and the Tennessee Titans over there on the other side of the field with Tannehill at quarterback. Are you kidding me? No way. It's totally unacceptable. When life gives you your opportunity, you have got to take it. And that's what they've been given right here. And I think the 49ers are a legitimate team. They are absolutely they're the Chiefs equal. Those 2 teams are Super Bowl championship teams that should be playing on the field and get your coin out and say this could go a lot of different ways. But if the Packers show up, the Chiefs are so much better than the Packers.
Let's talk about that a little bit coming up next. We'll talk about the NFC, a little bit about the national title game. Stan and I will be on the spot because by the time many of you hear this, the game will either be being played or already have been played. But for those who eagerly await the podcast right when it comes out at 6 o'clock on Mondays, you'll get your preview as well. A little bit of that coming up next with Stan on Danny and Stan's Football Weekend.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
We're here with Joe Spiker, the president of Easton Roofing. And Joe, you worked for other companies in the construction industry. What inspired you to start your own company in Easton Roofing?
Well, Danny, when you are working for somebody else, you oftentimes don't get to see the project through from beginning to end, and you don't get the final control over the customer experience. And I wanted to build a place where people can come and get work done on their house and not have to worry about being treated the wrong way and get a good customer service experience start to finish.
The company slogan is "Where Integrity Matters." Why is that so particularly important to you?
Well, for us, what that means is treating each other with respect at work, treating our clients with respect, and making the right choice, especially when no one's looking. So when you're presented all the time as a contractor with choices that have to be made, are you going to make more money on this if you cut a corner? And we just wanted to make a place and a slogan that said to our people and to whoever is our customer, we're not going to do that. We're going to make the right choice regardless of profit.
Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. Are you thinking of starting a new business? Does your current business feel stuck? Or are you just trying to grow what you already have? Running a business is a lot of work, and it takes the right team to make it all happen. If you're looking to grow your business, call my friends Ben and Greg over at Fuego Consulting. They put together a company that can help you reach your business goals. Whether you're looking to get online, build a social media strategy, or rebrand your business, they can help. Call Fuego at 816-663-9695 or visit them online at fuegoconsulting.com. Fuego Consulting. Let's grow your business together.
For many people, a family law case will be one of the most difficult experiences in their life. The law firm of Kenneth McRae will help you through it. Personal and effective help from Ken in concert with you will develop a unique strategy for your unique case. As Ken always says, divorce can be civil law, not civil war. Licensed in Kansas? Visit McRaeLawOffice.com or call 913-972-4765.
If you'd like to join these and other great sponsors and market your business to a growing and engaged audience, contact us at Danny@DannyKlinkScale.com. Look forward to hearing from you. Stan, the NFC playoffs featured two games that, while the Seahawks fought mightily to create some tension at the end, and they did, the games were handled by the home teams. First of all, let's go with Green Bay, because they're going to be the underdog in the game against San Francisco. And a lot of the conversation today is how it was vintage Aaron Rodgers, that Aaron Rodgers is back, per se, and that the 49ers are going to get the full dose of vintage Aaron Rodgers. Do you believe that?
Yes. I think I think that he has Jones as a running back who is a little Jamal Charles-like, and I mean that with a great compliment. Right now he's in a point of his career. I don't know if he'll do it like Jamal did to really earn that explosiveness and that good back. But for this year, he can really hurt some teams. You give him a little gap. If it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 4, when most teams always pass, the Packers can run a draw. And right now with their new first-year head coach, he keeps wanting to say, Aaron, let's balance the offense up a little bit more. You saw the stats during the game. Oh, the Packers have run the ball as many attempts as they have passing it. He wants to do that. But it just all comes down to Aaron Rodgers making a few plays. Get your DVR out or whatever your subscription is that you can go back and watch the Packers versus the Chiefs. It may be relevant if they are into the Super Bowl. It's a perfect example, Danny, where the Chiefs are better than the Packers except for about 5 Aaron Rodgers plays. And he has the capability, better than any quarterback, better than Manning or Brady, definitely better than Breeze, who are other big-time quarterbacks now, to say, don't look at my previous 10 plays. It has nothing to do with what I might do on this play. And that's what makes him the most dangerous, because the Packers can make a lot of mistakes. Even Aaron Rodgers can throw a bad pass, make a bad read, take a sack. And it has absolutely nothing to do with, hey, it's 3rd and 12, and he might deliver a 30-yard pass on a dime and just laugh. He can throw a touchdown pass at any time. So there is something about him that is different. We can't even compare him to Patrick Mahomes right now because Patrick hasn't shown us that downside yet. When's he going to have that lag in a game? Patrick Mahomes hasn't. But maybe a John Elway is a guy that doesn't look good play after play. But John Elway was more, it's the 4th quarter, and we got to go win this game. Right. We're down by 13. Can you possibly get... That's not Aaron Rodgers. It's totally random when he flicks the ball and it ends up being a big play for the Packers. He's resourceful. In the playoff game against the Seahawks, he threw basically 50% of all of his attempts to one guy.
Right.
I mean, he's willing to say, he's my only guy I can rely on, and I can stick the ball in and double team. When he's double teamed, if I throw the ball right, the defender can't get it. So I think this is all about the magic of Aaron Rodgers, and he's really shown it. Give him credit. They're 8-1 in games decided by one score or less this year. Now make it 9-1. That was a regular season stat. Now they're 9-1 in those type of games. And they were going to lose, I think, except for the third down throw. And he threw it to his receiver that he was throwing all the passes to, made an adjustment at the line of scrimmage, and knew he was double-teamed. And just stuck the ball in there before the safety got there. Safety made a really bad play. If they don't knock that pass down, the Chiefs saw how a safety should play. When Tyreek Hill got hit, that should have happened, and the Seahawks would have got the ball back, and I think they would have gone down and won the game. I really like the way the Seahawks are made, how they're coached, and everything else. So Green Bay is the hardest team for me to get my arms around on any one-game situation. I respect them, but overall, I don't think they're that great a team. I really don't.
And you do respect the 49ers, and if the quarterback, the most important position in sports, wasn't there. I mean, I think the 49ers have the best other 21 players in the National Football League. They have, and it's even more because they have change-up running backs, multiple running backs, feverish defense, guys who are young still and really want to play and aren't banged up and flexing their muscles and everything like that. But that being said, what do you think of Jimmy Garoppolo?
Jared Goff. When things are going well in the run game and the play action opens up and the first receiver's there, delivers a very nice ball. If the first receiver's not there or the running game doesn't work, he can't do it himself. If it's 3rd down and 8 and everyone knows you're going to pass, it's less than a 50%, which is bad in the NFL. He's likely to get sacked. He doesn't scare you when he moves. He doesn't make great decisions. The 3rd down conversions he had in the game the other day, a couple of them should have been intercepted. I mean, they were just bad lob balls into an open area that some guy went over and made a diving catch on. But when the running game works and then it's 1st and 10 after 3 runs, the old play action, I mean, like Bart Starr or those guys, been a lot of great pros who do this. Lynn Dawson was pretty good at faking a run, slight roll, and hitting a crossing route at 18 or 20 yards. So Garoppolo's fine. I don't think he's a loser. He's still yet to prove that over time he's a winner. Like Russell Wilson, I think, is a winner. Right. No matter what you ask him to do, he is going to give him a great chance to win. I'm not down on Garoppolo, but I think it's double or nothing. If you stuff the run, I think you could really cause him havoc. And if you get him in 3rd and long, he will not hurt you. That is hard to say that I believe they're a Super Bowl championship team without really having that quarterback rate A+, A or A-. He's just a solid B, but he'll play like A- quarterback when things are rolling. But so far, the way they run the ball is a rolling way of doing it. Right. They got 3 different backs. They don't care which one's hot. Get over here on the bench. If your hammy's a little sore on Thursday, like the Ravens couldn't overcome Ingram being injured. Well, I think the 49ers go, it's not your day. Come over here. Sorry.
And if they got all 3 of them, they're all fresh. And they use them all.
And they want to run. They're competing with each other. But it's the Shanahan stuff, Danny. That stuff works. When you got a line that believes and comes off the ball with a passion, shoulder to shoulder, and says, I don't care who I block. We're going to make a wall. And, oh, by the way, we really don't even want you to follow us. You know what? If I drew a line, if I had a telestrator, remember Davis running for the Broncos, okay? This is Super Bowl championship, Hall of Fame running back. He took the handoff. Let's say he's on a hash mark to keep it simple. He takes the handoff to the right because they're running to the right. If you watch Danny stop the tape, he plants his foot and runs right up the hash mark. You know how many times he does that? Though everybody's moving to the right, all the defenders are trying to get over there, and usually it's a cutback. And guess what? When you cut back in the way I just said, you actually are running straight 15 yards. Now, Danny, you and I could run straight 15 yards pretty fast if the hole isn't going to be there for us. But I'm telling you, it doesn't take that long when you run straight in football. So the 49ers scheme has worked forever, and it still works. Those guys are coming off the ball with a passion. Those backs are finishing the run, and they just say, if you don't hustle and try to cross the face, it's called crossing the face of the lineman. If you don't try to cross the face, we'll just run it around the corner and laugh at you. And they're fast, right?
Right.
So what do the defensive players have to do? They have to fight to cross the face. They're trying to get outside. And then the whole offense is really meant to be, ha, you made it so easy. We plant and run straight up field. And when you do that, you make 2 yards so fast, 5 yards on the next step. And if someone's not hitting you square, you got a 7-yard run. How many times did you see the Niners just run for 7? And you go, I'm not sure anybody did anything wrong.
Right.
That's how tough it is. And then on defense, who can compete with the Chiefs? And the 49ers have a chance. They have a chance to run and hit and play with the Chiefs. The Chiefs could still score 24 to 31 points in the Super Bowl against the Niners. But if the Niners control the game, get a lead, and sack Patrick Mahomes a couple of times, sacks equal punts normally, not always with Patrick. But I think the 49ers have a formula that can beat anybody and even compete against the Chiefs. I expect them to get after the Packers, dominate the game, and unless Aaron Rodgers is magical, I don't like looking at the regular season and say it's a replica because they whipped the Packers at home. I'm not saying that. This is the playoffs. And Jones is a good running back. But I think San Francisco is definitely the best team. So since Miami scored a touchdown at New England, all we've seen is the red carpet laid out and the Angels calling for the Chiefs like, come on through. We want to make this path easy for you. So I fully expect the Packers will beat the 49ers, and the Chiefs will only have to beat the Packers to win, and I really mean that, only compared to the 49ers. If you get to play the Packers in the Super Bowl again, you're talking about, one of the 10 or 15 worst teams to ever play in a Super Bowl. There have been other duds get there.
Right.
But that would be the true red carpet.
Teams were pretty bad.
The New England gets beat by Miami. Baltimore gets beat by the Titans. The Chiefs have had a lot of things go their way. And so if I'm a national neutral fan, I'm saying can't wait to see the 49ers play the Chiefs. If I'm a Chiefs fan, I'm saying, well, let's root for the Packers. Wouldn't it be good in the Super Bowl 50 years from the last Chiefs win to replicate Super Bowl I and go Packers-Chiefs?
Same uniforms.
And how about this? If the Chiefs win these next 2 games and the Packers is one of them, man, I'm getting ahead of myself. But they will have gone back and taken care of 3 teams in the playoffs that they lost to before to put an exclamation point on the season. And that'll just leave one loss that they had during the year that they'd have to go back. Maybe a postseason game.
It's the Colts, the playoff bowl.
Yeah, Colts, can we go play you one more time just to wipe you out as well? The Chiefs are playing at a high level. 24-0 and just laugh in the face of that. That's coaching, man. That's quarterbacking coaching. Congratulations to the Chiefs. And the fans, the sell of championship game tickets, sometimes people say, well, that's a lot of money. After that experience they had last Sunday, everyone's going to be. I started getting texts on my phone because they found out that I went to the game. And it just happened that I was able to take my son. He was in town. And it wasn't like a battle. Everyone's schedule was fairly busy. It was fine. No one got stepped on. It was like, oh, let's go to the game. By the time the game ended, I got everybody saying, hey, if you're going to the game next week and you're going to take somebody, make sure it's me.
Right.
Like I got 4 kids. I mean, come on. And plus friends. And so, the enthusiasm is awesome. And it's fun.
Yeah.
The playoffs have been great. Just not even from the Chiefs' perspective. As an NFL fan, the playoffs have been great.
Well, let's just quickly, because we'll break down the game in depth next week. But the national championship game is tonight as we record this. Let's just do a little instant analysis about this game. Your litmus test will be heard by many who have already seen the game. How does it play out? Looks like should be a great football game.
I think it'll be a great football game. First of all, Joe Burrow has been the guy that's played at another level. He's an NFL type of quarterback in the fact that he's been moving in the pocket and still getting on base and throwing accurate throws. His completion percentage is NFL record level. We're talking 70%. He's got NFL receivers, weapons. So they're doing a nice job at LSU. But there's a guy I know very well in Brent Venables, and he really is the defensive coordinator of all defensive coordinators in the country. I don't think his talent's anywhere near where they were last year, so they could be exposed. This isn't just Clemson's defense, as if you're talking about the last 5 years. He's going to have to fight and claw. But I do think that Trevor Lawrence is the key to the game. The level he played against Ohio State, running the football, which I didn't know he could do. He went out and won that game, showed that he was a winner. He's going to have to play at a high level, but I expect him to. And I expect Clemson to have the advantage because LSU has lived a fantasy world life now since the Alabama win. And at some point, I think it's going to catch up to them where the nervousness, the reality that this, it's kind of a fish out of water. When you haven't been here before, it's a little different. The media, the grind, the wait for the next game, all the preparation. This is just old hat to Clemson. They know, how psyched up should you be on day 3? How should you handle the media? What should the hotel like be the night before? What about tickets? The Super Bowl issues. I think Clemson gets a chance to play the underdog card and be an awesome team. Trevor Lawrence hasn't lost a football game in college, and I'm not sure he lost one in high school.
Right.
When you're dealing with a bunch of winners and telling them that they're the underdogs, I tell you what, I like that. I think Clemson finds a way to win if they can create a little havoc with the LSU passing game, just a little. Then I think LSU will start getting nervous. Now, how do they overcome this fact? Is it going to be a 75% LSU crowd? Is it going to be like a home game? Could that shake Clemson a little bit? But if there's any team in the country that could handle all those issues, I think it's Clemson. I think Dabo Swinney will be telling his team to do what we do, and LSU is going to say, we're going to win a championship. And if it doesn't go right, I'm not counting on old Ed Ogeron to make adjustments over there and make things classically close game, because why wouldn't LSU win? There's nothing that they do that would give you the mindset defensively or whatever. LSU's good enough to win. They're awesome. I'm going to go with the kind of stuff I like, a little psychology, championship mentality, and all of that, and I'm going to pick Clemson in a close game.
Stan Weber going out on a limb there. Tigers are going to win tonight. Ha, ha, ha. That's everybody's joke, and we'll see how it plays out. Stan, look forward to talking NFL and college football both next week, and maybe we'll be talking about the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Wow, I'll be surprised if we're not. I'll tell you that.
There you go. Stan Weber on Danny and Stan's Football Weekend.
We hope you enjoyed the latest Danny Klingscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Come back soon for something fresh and new. This podcast was made possible by our great sponsors like the law offices of Kenneth McRae, developing a unique strategy for your family law case. Divorce can be civil law, not civil war.